Okay, today we're taking a look at special on Junker Queen. I'll take a minute or two just to have a little look, see what your playstyle's like. General things to talk about quickly with Junker Queen. Obviously, she's going to get the most value in your close range. She's pretty useless in the current meta, to be fair. Basically, any hero can do what she does better. But I guess it's always good to know all of the heroes, so we'll see what we can work on. Nice go to the pull combo with the axe. Okay. So we took an off angle for no reason there and pretty much just left our Anna to die. We definitely have some interesting rotations going on. Nice. Pretty clean. You said the only thing that you might think I needed to focus on was your aim, and so far it's genuinely been pretty decent. I'd say my aim is probably worse than you, even though I'm like 1000 SR higher. Not to flex. But yeah, your aim is definitely fine. Your big thing so far is your rotations. Alright, let's see what we do with the ultimate here. Let's see if we wait for our team or just feed. Cool, happy days. Okay, so I'm going to pause quickly. This is a very long game, so I'm not going to pause too much. I'll just talk through most of it. But Junker Queen's ultimate, its strength is controlling tempo and really engaging in a fight really quickly. Just to like visualize it for you, if your Anna wanted to get the same value, she'd have to flank all the way into the enemy's backline, somehow not die and get a nade, whereas you just dash through their team, nade their entire team basically. And it's a good way to divert attention from your team. So when your team are trying to rotate somewhere, it's a great ult to use, because you're going to cause the enemy team to turn. You're going to distract them from your team rotating, and that's going to give your team a lot of space. And it also means if your team are trying to push a position, you're going to have all angles surrounded. So you're going to have the Junker Queen in the back line, the rest of your team pushing forward in the front line, maybe a DPS on an off angle. So you're going to almost turn any area into a kill zone for a short amount of time when you dash in there. It's difficult to stay alive while using it, so you definitely want to try and combo it and use it at the right time. But it can be a pretty decent ultimate. Where are you? There we go. So we'll see how you use it. So far, we're just waiting for the payload to move here. Don't need to push too much. Nice. Really nice ult. Wow. It's almost like a Rhine fire strike in a way, right? You wait for the enemies to line up, and then you just bang, and you hit them all, and it's like, oh, that was a good fire strike. But yeah, nice ultimate there. Nice and early. It was early enough where the team weren't prepared for it. Their enemy team had dropped down off the high ground for no reason, and you took control of the situation. So nice use of your ultimate there. Oh! Whew. Wow. Oh la la. Nice. I think you know this, but just in case you don't, I'm just gonna say it. Your axe, your slash, has the same sort of hitbox as Rhine. You can manipulate it. It looks like you are doing that, but just in case you're wondering, you can do it the same as a Rhine swing. The axe works in the same way. So far, this has actually been some pretty decent Junker Queen gameplay, so not too much to pick on, other than the first point where your rotations were a bit weird. You left your team to die, and you were kind of, I don't know, it was just very odd. We might go back and touch on it if there isn't too much else to pick up on, but we'll watch through the whole thing first. Yeah, your team are in spawn. Unlucky. Oh my god. Nice. Nice. Good use of the melee as well to get bleed damage off. The bleed damage is basically 0, but yeah. She's just a bad hero in general. But. Okay, we've got our ultimate again. This is like the best point to do it on, because they're all going to be on the low ground. They're all going to line up nicely. We just need to do a nice rotation. Okay, just here a small thing. Sure, there's a tracer here. We're being pressured and we're half HP, but we don't need to run away from our team here. We just leave our team for no reason. We run back, we get heals. We get heal from the cart, we get heal from our Kuriko, and we'd be fine. There's no point fully disengaging from this fight. It just means your team are at disadvantage, and for no reason really. Alright, we just want to live here. We don't want to go now. Oh, maybe we could ult actually. Okay. Here we use it to rotate, which is wrong. You can tell that you're struggling to rotate here and you're not sure how to rotate. I always do the same rotation on this map, which is literally just walk up here and then drop down, because that way I've walked this way all for free and I can jump down and I'll land about here, so I have full access to anyone who's playing around this line of sight, around like this. I have full access to anyone back here, and I can also drop on the team from behind if there's anyone playing here. And it also means we're just controlling more space, right? Like your team sat here and you're up here, you're instantly creating pressure on anyone up here, anyone playing down here. So you're just creating more space and more pressure for your team to then push through. For example, if you were up here shooting the Ana would look at you, and then the monkey wouldn't be getting as much healing, so then your team could more easily kill the monkey, if that makes sense. But we use the ult to rotate, which is a waste of the ultimate. We could have just walked up to the top, but at least we're pushing forward with it. Yeah, your aim's fine. Your aim is really fun. I'm genuinely not sure what rank you are. I did watch a few videos, and I think you said you were diamond and then showed 3.5. So I'll assume you're like low masters. So your aim is easily 4.3, 4.4 you could get with your aim. Tank is a lot more about tempo and space than it is about hitting your shots. And actually quite a fun thing to do. If you go onto like a hero like Zarya or Rhine, without even shooting or swinging or doing anything, play a game where you just focus on getting into the most annoying areas, causing the most pressure. For example, that high ground I was talking about up there, getting up here, and just see how the enemy react. Like if you're playing up here, they're instantly going to back up and you create space for your team. Like it's crazy how, because you're just like big and you have health, everyone's like, oh my god, I'm running away. So yeah, bang. Ooh, nice pull on the Doomfist punch there. Why are we shooting a nano tomorrow? Cool. Happy days. Pretty steamrolled there. Not too much to pick up on. Your cooldown usage was okay, your ultimate usage, one was good, one was not so good, but we already touched on that. Your rotations on the first point, the only thing I wanted to touch on was rather than, okay, Overwatch lanes, there's usually 3 lanes on a map, left lane, middle, right lane. For example, on that junker point, let me just, I've stolen this straight from A10. But it is the best way to explain it. So for example, lane 1 here, lane 2 here, lane 3 here. You'd fully committed to lane 3 and you're pushing through here. So your team had also fully committed and your Ana was pushing the payload. Okay, we'll just teleport me, sound. Was pushing the payload, so your team had committed to this lane. I think you had a DPS up here maybe. But your team were committed to pushing this lane, and then you pushed up here, and then you were like, yeah, nah, I'm good. I'm gonna go do something weird. And you basically just left your team out in the open. You committed to that lane, and then you switched. It's okay if you were like at the start of the fight, you pushed around here, you went for a little bit of a flank. But in a scenario where your team have used your cooldowns, like you've committed to the lane properly, that is not a time to go on a flank or like do something. I don't know. You were like, I don't know. You were like chasing weirdly. Okay. Oh, hog. That's not gonna be fun. Right, we need to get out of hook range as soon as possible. I like how aware you are of your hero, and you need to play close range, so you're playing those close angles. You're playing them well as well. Like, you definitely understand just the fundamentals of different heroes have different strengths, and you're playing towards them, which is really good. Right, what are we doing? We need to do something. We're just sat here doing nothing. Nice, good push. We get a kill, we can back up. Just remember you're outside their spawn here, so like last time you pushed up to the spawn doors, not a good idea. And as soon as you get a kill, you've basically won that fight, so there's no point playing too aggressively and possibly dying, because then you will have just thrown the fight completely. Because their respawns are so much faster. As soon as you get a kill, you can sit back, you can chill a little bit. Okay. Nice. Yeah, you definitely know about the hitbox. You're getting really good bleed stacks as well, so the Junker Queen's actually pretty good. Considering how bad the hero is, yeah. Right. Sorry, I did want to touch on that ultimate. I just completely forgot. Give me a moment. Right. The ultimate was okay, but it was like a little bit late. I think you were looking for it. But you lost your soldier. This is where you need to do it here. Look, you hit 1, 2, 3, 4. You see, it's just slightly late. Everyone was lined up, but it was still decent. It just ideally it would have been a little bit earlier. Oh. Yeah, they got Lucio now, so. Oh. I mean, we had our shift ability still, so we could have got some speed boost. We could have got some health. Maybe made it out, but they switched Lucio and just hard rushed, so that's pretty rough. And this is kind of the problem with Junker Queen, is like she doesn't have the best mobility, she doesn't have the best damage, she's not the best close range, she's not the best like far range. She's just kind of this like just mid hero. Oh my. Why have we dropped so early? Oh my. Holy. That was mental. Okay. Okay. This is gonna sound like such a tiny thing, but it is genuinely not. Look how much time we have. This payload's got to go all the way here, right? By dropping down early, number one, your soldier's still in spawn. Like, you're just buying time, right? You don't need to drop now. like, I don't know how to say it, but like, you stay up here for a couple more seconds until that cart's about to drop, and then your team are all going to drop down with you, and you're not going to get hard focused and waste all of your support's cooldowns just to keep you alive because you dropped early. Like, look at this. You drop down. Moira uses orb. I can't even tell what you get healed by, but you get healed by a bunch. You have a Moira, so you can't sustain in a fight for that long. She had to use her orb on you straight away, so there's no more sustain for the rest of the fight. And you're just going to get out healed because you dropped it early. You'll just get out sustained by the enemy team, basically. You forced your team to drop early, waste cooldowns early, and then you weren't able to sustain long enough in the fight because of that. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so the momentum's kind of switching into the enemy team's favour here. So this is where we want to be slightly creative and kind of change up how we're playing. Because we should notice, you know, we've lost 2 fights in a row. Okay, they've changed their comp, and I haven't changed my playstyle. What do I need to change? What do I need to do to get this back in our favour? Okay. No one knows how this soldier died. All we're doing here is just feeding ult charge to the enemy. Like, we have our ult. We're just giving the D.Va ult charge and their support's ult charge. So, not really worth contesting that. And we're just going to get steamrolled. Yeah. This point is rough. Like, if you lose one person, your best thing to do is just back up. And, you know, like, rather than contest this high ground here, just, you know, back up through here, wait for the soldier, and then you can come in for a last minute recontest. But that soldier dying was just, no one knows how he died, shall we just say. Okay, so the enemy team are just playing ultra aggressively here. Like, they're just going crazy. They've won 3 fights in a row now, momentum fully with them. Your DPS are losing every single duel. We've got to be a little bit more creative. I get flamed a lot in games for being too creative, but it works. So my thought process here is, okay, the tank's here, the enemy team are all pushing up. I'm going to play the objective. There's an Ana sat alone on the payload. I've got my ult. I would genuinely just pop back here, drop down on the payload. Not only would I probably live for like 20 seconds, take 20 seconds off the clock, I'd force the enemy team to turn around and come back to help their Ana. Maybe I'd get a kill on the Ana, and then they've got to wait for the Ana to respawn, so they're all going to be playing by the cart because they don't have much healing. And that's going to give your team enough time to respawn, come back and take some better positions, and then you've almost like reset the momentum because you've forced the enemy team to back up, play more defensively. Maybe you've got that kill on the Ana, and yeah, it all kind of tumbles from there. Because right now, they've got full momentum here. They're just going crazy. Oh, we can ult her. Okay, we don't need to, but nice. People press Q, happy days. Nice kill. Okay, so here we're pretty much playing for time. That's what I'm going to be focusing on the most. I'm going to be focused on playing slowly. Oh yeah, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Go, go, go. What? Okay. Really way too late there. Again, that's just kind of tempo and momentum. You don't want to let the enemy team, like, the best place to engage is always when an enemy team are rotating, right? Not only with the team all like half HP, but they were also rotating and trying to push out and get some space. And of course they're going to use Visor to get that space. So we want to be pressing our ult before they press their ult. In that scenario, you just held your ult too long, and the tempo switched into the enemy's favor. Basically, they were able to take enough space out. Remember, your team was 4v5, right? Because you were hidden behind them. This is not going to go well. Oh, that was crazy. So yeah, your normal your cooldown usage is pretty much fine. Your ultimates, I think both of them so far should have been earlier. It's kind of similar to a Rhino, right? I don't know about you, but when I get a Rhino, I'm pretty much using it straight away. I get it, bang, I get it down, happy days. I'm not holding it for ages, and as soon as I see it, like even the tiniest opportunity to use it, I'm not going to hesitate. I'm going for it, right? That's how you get the most value out of it, because you're using it more. So I think you're maybe hesitating or thinking about it a little bit too much. Whereas as soon as you see that opportunity, you just go for it. But other than that, it's most of the issues have just been tempo, engaging too early or engaging too late. You haven't done any more funny rotations, which is nice. I guess that was just a first fight fluke, or first point fluke. We'll put it down to that. Oh, I hate Junker Queen. She's so bad. Right. Like, this is such a hard point to win now that they're on a Lucio. Like, you can't really play this angle because the enemy team are just gonna walk on you, and you can't rotate because they're just gonna speed onto you and kill you. Okay, you have a Brig playing with you, so that's slightly better, to be fair. We don't want to be pushing out. We want to be playing slow and we want to be playing safe, right? Overwatch objective game. Again, like up here, where we should have waited for the payload, because at the end of the day, the game is an objective game. We want to wait until the last second, keep as many resources as we can to then push into this fight and go bang all at once. Here, we want to be running down the timer as much as possible, just sustaining and keeping ourselves alive. And how are we going to do that? We're going to play safe. We're going to play around corners, play around angles, use our cooldowns only when we need to, and just sustain and hold space, basically, rather than pushing forward and putting ourselves into a dangerous situation. Nice kill. We need to get out. Okay, happy days. Right, we've lost a Mei. We need to just back up. Safest play here is, I'm just gonna say it before the fight happens. Okay, well, safest play is you back up here, and you set up just ready for the next fight. Like, you've got 30 seconds on the clock. It's either you back up here and then you take a full fight here, or you don't back up, you stagger one by one, the car ends up getting to like here, and then again we're back in this scenario where we have to wait and look at this. They're going to have all of these angles, and we're going to have, I drop down here and everything can shoot me. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. Okay, we're equal. 2 DPS die. Yeah, we just want to live. We just want to run away. Nice. Big. Don't pull him in. Ah. Oh, no, we need to go back. We need to go back. Yeah, we want to go into our spawn. Oh god, what? Maybe we're feeling pressure because of the, like, it's overtime. Like, sure, this is a nice ult, but your team are dead, right? Your soldiers just got back, but I don't think there's going to be any follow-up. Oh my god! I take it all back. Crazy. Okay. Damn. I take it back. Personally, I would have ulted there. I would have waited until my team were all situated. But you can see the tempo there. You did back up. In my opinion, you didn't back up far enough, but somehow it worked. I don't know how. I'll put it down to being diamond and not me being bad at the game. Alright, why is it? Okay, happy days. Just skip forward a bit. But yeah, so far, Junker Queen gameplay actually pretty good. Cooldown usage, good. Ultimates, just need to be more, maybe it's just more aggressive with them, I'm not sure. Just less hesitant, I think. And yeah, just being a bit more smart with rotations and cooldowns. It's just understanding the game. Like, okay, they have the advantage. How can I take the advantage away? What space do I need to take? What can I do to really carry the game? Okay, so there's kind of two ways to play this point. Number one is, as you're doing here, you just force the payload down the middle and someone has to contest it. In my opinion, in this scenario, that's not the best choice because they do have a Reaper, they've got an Orisa, they've got Ana, and they've got Kiriko, so they have a lot of healing, a lot of sustain. Obviously, the Orisa can damage, whatever it's called, take less damage. Reaper, self-heal, crazy damage. The approach in the rotation I usually go for is up these stairs, and then I will literally just walk across here. If I genuinely usually force Ryan on this point, and I'll just pin across here, jump across here, and then I contest all of this high ground, because this is where you're going to have the most issues. And as soon as you get this to yourself, like, the enemy team cannot play here, right? Because you're going to be just like shooting their backline, causing crazy pressure. Like, I'm sure you know, high ground is just like, you just want to be on the high ground. High ground is where you're gonna have the most control of the game, and so this rotation generally for me works the best, and it causes a lot of pressure. It causes the enemy team to have to walk and push around here, but then I can still shoot them. So where do they go? They get a wall split, and then we just capitalize on it one by one. So in my opinion, that rotation and that method would be better in this scenario. But we do have a Mei, so maybe we can cut off the Orisa or something, and then burst her down. Okay, we're in a bad spot here. Yeah. I don't know why we put ourselves in there, but just another weird rotation. Maybe it's just this point. Okay. Final fight. Let's see what happens. No. Back. Okay, happy days. Yeah. You have a good understanding of like grouping up and playing as a team, so that's definitely better than most diamond players, I feel like. I feel like when I get a diamond player in my game, they just run into the enemy team. Full stop. Ah, shift. What the shift. You get health and speed. Okay. Run. Oh no. Oh, this is going to be so sad if you don't touch. Oh, that's a stinker. You probably would have won that if you got someone on the payload. You had Zeno, you had Euro, Kiriko. Damn. That's rough. Okay, so. In summary, your ability's fine, your aim is more than fine, better than my aim, for sure. Your ultimate, you want to be using it more, like, as soon as you see it. To be fair, the last time you used it, you did see it, you saw the opportunity and you went straight for it. In that scenario, I wouldn't have, but it played out and you didn't hesitate, and I'd rather you didn't hesitate and you just, you know, did an ultimate like that every single time and got used to seeing an opportunity and just going for it. And then you can start to see, like, okay, well, this scenario, maybe it's not good to go for it. And you can kind of go in, like, in that scenario, like 10 seconds before when your team died, you would have been saying, okay, well, I'm not going to use my ult for the next 25 seconds or whatever. And then you don't, even if you see the opportunity, you're not going to go for it because you know your team are dead and there's going to be no follow-up. With your rotations, again, on this point specifically, I would rotate onto the high ground. Just creates more pressure. Try and think about where you can put yourself to stay out of the enemy line of sight and rotate, because at the end of the day, especially when you have a Moira like you did earlier, if you're rotating and the enemy team are doing damage to you, you're using up your Moira's resources, and then when you actually make it to the fight, you're not going to be able to sustain for as long because your team are going to have used their resources already. This is a very long VOD. My apologies. But yeah, everything else I touched on, I feel like I explained fully, so happy days on that front. But I think your Jungle Queen's actually really decent. I just think she's a terrible hero. So, my number one recommendation, don't play Jungle Queen. Happy days. Yeah, thank you very much for the VOD. Have a good rest of your day.